For thousands of years, man has never stopped exploring the universe. But at Galileo improved the telescope so that it can be magnified dozens of times before. Humans haven't even taken a close look at our nearest moon. After the advent of the telescope, so to speak. Only then did the man have the tools to open up the wilderness, to be able to look out into the wilder universe. But the face spans millions of light years. The largest single radio telescope ever built. Or the existing integrated aperture radio telescope. Limited scale resolution is even more limited. And spread out radio telescopes around the world. A communication network cannot record a uniform signal in time. Further transformations are needed before the data can be analyzed. In addition, most radio telescopes today. It also relies on mechanical scanning to track targets. Tracking targets globally and synchronously is even less efficient. So, put the telescope in the traditional interference technique, combined with the line-controlled radar technology, and built a supercomputer for information-based control. Integrated aperture radio telescope is the next phase of human construction goals. Now, that goal has begun to be achieved. The Square Kilometer Radio Telescope, SKA, is planned. The first phase of construction has officially begun in 2018. China was one of the founders of the SKA project in 2019. Signed the Roman Convention. It marks the official establishment of the Square Kilometer Array Observatory. The Square Kilometer Array is an international astronomical community. The world's largest integrated aperture radio telescope is planned. Its receiving area reaches 1 square kilometer. It is a reflector antenna with more than 3,000 surfaces and 1 million low-frequency antennas. It covers a large synthetic aperture array covering a span of 3,000 kilometers. Integrated aperture radio telescope spatial resolution depends on the length of the baseline used for the observation. The sensitivity depends on the total receiving area of each antenna. The SKA project consists of an aperture array, unmatched baseline length and the total number of antennas, which makes it very much in terms of the range of observations, will exceed the resolution quality of Hubble Space Telescope images. In terms of sensitivity, it is by far the most sensitive. 50 times the size of a radio telescope array. The ability to analyze data is 100 times better than the latter. Perfect radio silence background on Earth. And can be arranged in a large area of the antenna array. The SKA plans to locate the site in the desert of South Africa and Western Australia. The antenna array is not arranged in a uniform way. Take the antenna array in South Africa, consisting of 50% of the total number of dishes. The dense array lies within 5 kilometers of the core. There are 3 kinds of antennas. RHF band antennas respectively. Dipole antenna and intermediate band antenna. 25% are located within 200 kilometers of the exterior. The last 25% is located within 3,000 kilometers of the exterior. Except that it's incredibly difficult to build. It is not easy to control such a large-scale phased array network. To ensure the synchronization accuracy of thousands of antenna signals to within 1/108th of a second. The adjacent antennas are all connected by optical fiber. The total length of optical fiber can go around the Earth 2 times. To be able to process the information of each signal receiving node in time. All antennas are equipped with corresponding smart receivers. Realize the digitization of the signal received by the antenna. Sites will compress this data into easier to manage packets sent to the CPU. To that end, 2 of the world's fastest supercomputers. It's going to be used for SKA. In all, 1.3 million antennas are digitized to generate data. The amount of data is equivalent to 100 times the global internet traffic. It will be stored and distributed annually. 600 petabytes of data, 1 petabyte equals 1024 terabytes. It's a real big data telescope. The SKA is also planned over an unprecedented period. In 1991, astronomers from 10 countries, including China. Preliminary SKA proposals were put forward. The International Working Group was established in 1993. Concept design started in 2008, site selection in 2012. Before the construction of the SKA-1 phase officially begins in 2018. This is the biggest scientific project in human history. More than 20 years have been spent in design and negotiation. The SKA Phase 1, which starts in 2018. About 10% of the telescope's size will be completed. By 2023. The content includes African reflector antenna and Australian low-frequency antenna. The phase completion can be advanced for scientific observation. The SKA's second phase, starting in 2023, will be replenished. This supplement is not just quantitative. It is also possible to add new aperture arrays in the African region, until the completion of the whole construction in 2030. Of course, the SKA project could be disruptive. Man has been inventing the telescope ever since. Compared to the 400 years of understanding the universe, 40 years is not a long time to prepare. As one of the founding members of the SKA, China is involved in antennas and low-frequency aperture arrays. If aperture array, signal and data transmission, scientific data processing and broadband single-pixel feed, and so on. 6 International Work Package Alliance research and development work, especially in the core of the project. The design of the transceiver antenna plays a leading role. 2014 square kilometer radio telescope in Australia. Pathfinder's 36 antennas are all provided by China. On February 6, 2018, China led the development. The first antenna Pathfinder for the square kilometer array radio telescope. The new equipment started trial operation successfully for the project to provide the world's most advanced antenna solutions. The radio telescope's antenna makes up the whole system's eyes and ears. It works in the same way that an optical telescope focuses light. It will also emit radio radiation from the target object. You take the specular reflection and you get the same phase to the common focus. The receiver then processes these signals, convert to a form that can be recorded and displayed. The terminal then records the signal. In the process, the basic index that affects radio telescopes is the spatial resolution, the ability to distinguish between two radio point sources close to an object, sensitivity, the ability to detect weak radio sources, and sky survey speed, the ability to quickly scan and observe the same area. The SKAP reflector antenna consists of 2 main and 2 reflective surfaces. The total area of the main reflector is 235 square meters. It is composed of 66 triangular panels with a side length of 3 meters. Each of these curvatures will differ. The panel with an accuracy of 0.1 millimeters is spliced together, half the size of a basketball court. The accuracy of the entire mirror is half a millimeter. The secondary reflector also controls the assembly accuracy within 0.2 millimeters. At the same time, different temperatures in actual use, wind load and pitch working under the influence of gravity, also can guarantee the error control in a very small range. In order to eliminate the interference of man-made electromagnetic disruption and geomagnetic clutter, the antenna system also adopts the design of a high electromagnetic shielding wireframe, directional shielding of electronic devices from electromagnetic signals. Let this sensitive ear hold its breath and listen to the sound of the universe. The SKAP reflector antenna has abandoned the traditional mechanical scanning method. A phased array feed is assembled. Its predecessor, the Oshkosh antenna, works. 30 separate beams are generated simultaneously, covering 30 square degrees of horizon, to give the antenna a wide field of view, to enable the telescope to observe a large area of space simultaneously. On the premise of maintaining high precision, the speed of the sky survey is accelerated. In 2014, it was still under debugging. Oshkosh Sky Survey observation speed. That's twice the size of any comparable telescope in the southern hemisphere. It can be predicted that the speed of SKAP will be greatly improved. The essence of the radio antenna is to play the role of radio photography, to capture light in distant space. This camera has a very long exposure time, to ensure that the final coverage of thousands of kilometers. The SKA system, which has thousands of antennas, takes steady shots. Achieve maximum reception efficiency. You want to make sure that all the antennas are aligned at the same time, and keep tracking the observation synchronously. The control system of the SKAP antenna is adopted. Full digital high-precision servo drive control system. High-precision frame and antenna configuration protection design. Can set a special axis of rotation for the antennas that make up the telescope. The accuracy of 3 parts per thousand directivities is achieved. A uniform axis of rotation helps the telescope to work longer hours. It's like adding a handheld stabilizer to your camera. Helps stabilize telescope orientation and improve image quality. In addition to the field of antenna design and manufacturing, in the scientific data processing, China has Sunway Taihu Light, and the world's most powerful supercomputer research and development and use experience. These also provide hardware support for the SKA. And in 2005, China has built in Xinjiang 21 CMA array containing 10,000 antennas. A lot of preparation for the SKA's data analysis. The analysis software with Chinese independent intellectual property rights has been made. This is of great significance for future SKA data imaging work. Previously, it was located in Guizhou, China. World's largest single-aperture radio telescope. Known as the Chinese Eye of the 500 meters caliber. 3 new pulsars have been identified with the spherical radio telescope. So far, FAST has been discovered and certified. There are nearly 100 pulsars. The SKA hopes to overcome FAST, among others, defects and disadvantages of single-aperture radio telescope. At the same time obtain higher sensitivity, a larger field of view, higher frequency, higher spatial resolution, more efficient sky survey capability. So it will not only be used to find pulsars, test Einstein's theory of gravity. It can also capture the birth of the first celestial bodies in the universe, explore the evolution of galaxies and the development of dark energy after the Big Bang, the effect of the cosmic magnetic field, even detect faint alien signals, and look for complex molecules in space that could form life, and the search for habitable planets beyond Earth. The SKA is an important international scientific installation in which China is. It is the embodiment of scientific research and practice of a community with a shared future for mankind. Not only can China gain from it breakthroughs in the frontiers of basic science, but also to solve human problems. He also contributed to Chinese wisdom and Chinese solutions.